Monday, the 2nd of February 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, happy start of the new week and welcome to the English newscast on Info Television. Our headlines. Bilingualism in Cameroonian schools should promote the use of English and French as official languages. As the Bilingualism Week has been launched this February 2, the day is effective in most schools. And Cameroonian youth are the country's future, but for some, the path is paved ahead. Those were our top stories. Details in a jiffy. Welcome back. English and French are Cameroon's official languages, and the Bilingualism Week, which kicked off today, throws more light on the effectiveness of bilingualism in schools. In the following report, the practical aspect of this bilingualism in schools is examined. Let's watch. Cameroon's education system is bilingual, and these two languages, according to the norms, are meant to be practically used in schools. This is why school authorities are putting in efforts to ensure that their instructions adhere to the concept of bilingualism.
There's no way we can do without taking into consideration the both languages. And in our official communique, officially, when the principal signs a note, the note must be in both languages, in French and in English. All our official documents bear the two languages, English and French. Some
obstacles are, however, encountered in the practice of both languages, which hinders their effective use in schools.
It's difficult for some people to speak French, so we manage to speak the two languages in facilitate communication.
According to other students, the knowledge gained in both languages at school is also an added advantage to what they learn at home.
Majority of us are coming from the French background, so all of us in our homes already know we have a mastering of English already, of French already. So coming already to the Anglophone section is just to complete our knowledge.
The 21st edition of the National Week of Bilingualism in Cameroon was launched on Monday, February 2, 2026, and aims to reinforce national unity and bilingualism. It is And the Ministry of Secondary Education has launched the 21st National Bilingualism Week this Monday, February 2, 2026 in Gumu in the Mefo Anakono Division. This was in a ceremony presided over by the Secretary General of the Central Region Governor's Office in the person of Simon Gislain Etil, representing the governor. Details in this report.
With just days to go before the celebration of the 60th edition of Youth Day, the milestone anniversary is being marked with several events and activities across the country, centered around the theme, Youth are at the heart of great hopes for a united, stable and prosperous Cameroon. But beyond the parades and festivities, many young people say Youth Day represents far more than just a public holiday.
For
me, Youth Day is a memorable day for all the youths, for all Cameroonian youths. We are waiting for a lot from our country, from our government. Of course, there are many concerns that remain unresolved, but we remain confident and hopeful that in the future, with everything that is happening, we will have a better future. There is a lot of change in Cameroonian youth today, especially as they are very aware of their development and the challenges they face. I want to see young people taken into account, listened to and valued.
60 ans, je crois que c'est... Quand j'entends le mot 60, c'est l'âge général qu'on va à la retraite. Donc, si aujourd'hui la jeunesse...
When I hear the word 60, I think of retirement age. So, if today the youth celebrates their 60th anniversary, it is with hope, even as we live through what some call a presidential mandate of great experience. We continue to hope. Youth eagerly await the speech of the head of state, who has placed emphasis on youth and women. We are aware of the rising unemployment rates and know that the government alone cannot employ all young people. That is why we hope the government will promote the private sector, create opportunities, and encourage businesses to employ youths. This could help reduce the number of young people leaving the country in search of a better life. For some, it is a day to recognize their potential and contributions to society, while others see it as an opportunity to voice their concerns about unemployment, education, and social inclusion. However, others believe the celebration still plays an important role in bringing young people together and reminding them of their role in nation building. For this edition, we want the President to promise concrete actions, such as the creation of businesses and jobs, so that young people can find their place in the new government that is about to be formed. If youths can secure their place, it will do a lot of good for the country.
Le président a fait beaucoup de promesses aux jeunes.
The President has made many promises to the youths, but I feel these have not yet been fulfilled. The measures meant to support us are not yet effective. As we celebrate Youth Day on February 11th, we must understand its true meaning. We often celebrate it without asking why this date or what the day truly represents. I know the head of state usually gives a speech for the youths, but I no longer expect words alone. I want action that matches those words. Youths have great potentials, and while we respect the wisdom of our elders, we also have our own voice and contributions to make.
Toujours celui-là qui incarne la sagesse, mais les jeunes ont leur mot à dire.
As Cameroon prepares to mark this historic 60th edition of Youth Day, the celebration stands as both a moment of festivity and reflection. For many young people, the milestone raises expectations that the hopes highlighted by the theme will translate into concrete opportunities for a better future.
And Cameroonian youths are the country's future, but for some, the path ahead is paved with crime. A disturbing trend of young people turning to illicit activities has raised alarm bells, with recent arrests highlighting the severity of the issue. Mimi Tiobo throws more light.
A disturbing trend has emerged among some Cameroonian youth, with individuals as young as 18, 19, 21, 22, and 29 years old turning to crimes. Recent cases have highlighted the severity of the issue, including the arrest of 4 teenagers in Balmayo who allegedly targeted microfinance institution and mobile money transfer kiosks. Additionally, a presumed assassin was apprehended on December 15, 2025, and 6 individuals suspected of snatching belongings at the van bus stop in Yaoundé were also arrested by the National Gendarmerie. Poverty naturally predisposes one to crime. The consumption of psychotropic substances, even due to poverty, predisposes one to crime. Therefore, the state of Cameroon, now supported by structures like ours, can clearly improve crimes prevention in our society. The question remains, what drives these young people to choose a life of crime, while some youths are diligently pursuing their education and creating opportunities for themselves? Others are opting for more illicit path. The underlying causes of this trend warrant closer examination. These young people are sometimes abandoned by their families. An extremely recent study shows that many young people no longer receive the affection of their family, no longer receive the attention of their family, Parents worried about going to get money and sometimes do not know that children need their physical presence, their emotional presence. They need people to guide them, and to guide them, the society cannot. And these young people, they spend a period of time in adolescence with all the desire that accompany this period. The desire for experience, the desire to be things, the desire for social recognition. So many young people go to gangs of mafias because they want to have what the society cannot give them. Addressing the root causes of this behavior, such as poverty, lack of opportunities, and social inequality, is crucial to preventing further escalation. By working together, government agencies, communities, organizations, and individuals can help create brighter future for Cameroonians youth and reduce the prevalence of crimes in the country.
An emotional dependency is quietly affecting relationships, leaving many people trapped in unhealthy relationships. In this report, we hear from a psychologist who explains the dangers of emotional dependency and how it affects many people in the society. Let's watch.
Emotional dependency, often mistaken for love or care, is increasingly becoming a silent threat to mental well-being. Many people find themselves unable to make decisions, feel secure, or function normally without constant emotional support from another person. A psychologist warns that these unhealthy attachments can lead to negative aspects. Emotional dependency can sometimes come from insecure attachment and low self-esteem. In such cases, it may be seen as a personality trait or a symptom. But when emotional dependency strongly affects a person's behavior and causes problems in their social life, it becomes a psychological disorder known as dependent personality disorder. While emotional dependency can feel comforting at first, it can gradually turn into a burden that limits personal growth and independence. One of the first signs of emotional dependency is a constant and unresolved fear, especially the fear of separation. This fear creates permanent anxiety, with people feeling distressed at the thoughts of losing a loved one or leaving a relationship. Emotionally dependent individuals often struggle to make decisions on their own and constantly seek validation from others before moving forward. Recognizing the signs is the first step and most important step towards change. When someone is already in affective dependency, it can happen that the person has constant headaches, constant sleep disorders, gastrointestinal problems, and appetite disorders. When we group together these different disorders, we see that the person may be in a state of affective dependency. It is a disease of jealousy, an irrational jealousy that cannot really be explained. Psychologists recommend building self-confidence, setting healthy boundaries, and seeking professional help as effective ways to regain emotional independence and healthy connections.
And the Ministry of Secondary Education has launched the 21st National Bilingualism Week this Monday, February 2, 2026, in Gumu in the Mefuanakono Division. This was in a ceremony presided over by the Secretary General of the Central Region Governor's Office in the person of Simon Gislain Etil, representing the governor. Let's watch. The launch of the 21st National Bilingualism Week took place on February 2, 2026 in Gumu in the Mefuanakono Division, organized by the Regional Delegate for Secondary Education in the Central Region, Mireille Marie-Laure Ouna. It was a symbolic moment.
Vendredi de février.
Artificial intelligence at the service of bilingualism is the theme observed for this year's Bilingualism Week. This ceremony was presided over by Simon Ghislain Etil, Secretary General of the Governor's Office for the Central Region, representing the Governor.
We then all have the duty to pave the way and make the difference with the perfect use of our two official languages, which will enable us to preach digital habits that will help in carrying out research in every aspect of education. We gather from what I have just said above so far that bilingualism is not an option but an obligation for every Cameroonian, mostly the student that you are.
Between performance of traditional songs and dances, students from Mefo and Akono Division demonstrated their knowledge and skills.
The importance of bilingualism is no longer to be said or to be asked, because bilingualism is a part of us. It's a part of our identity, our national identity. If you are a Cameroonian and you don't speak either French or English, and both, I don't think that you can say that you're really a Cameroonian. The true Cameroonian must speak both English and French. We are able to communicate.
The main objective of this 21st edition is loudly highlighted.
The Minister of Secondary Education from the beginning of this year wants us to put an access on artificial intelligence in classroom teaching and learning process, because we have understood that if we use artificial intelligence, it will help children and teachers to better teach and students to better learn.
The ceremony was also attended by administrative authorities, including the Senior Divisional Officer of the Mefo and Akono Division, Adeline Claude Sop-Mote, the Mayor of Ngumo Municipality, Jean-Baptiste Avuna Atemenge, and other administrative authorities. The event was also marked by the recognition of some students for their performances. And still in education, many vulnerable parents are finding it difficult to pay their children's school fees, leaving several students at risk of dropping out. However, school authorities say measures have been put in place to manage such cases and ensure that affected students remain in the classrooms, as you tell us, Jessica Nziwu.
The start of the new school term has exposed the financial difficulties faced by many vulnerable parents. While classrooms are gradually filling up, the joy of returning to school is overshadowed by economic hardship for many families. Across several schools, parents are struggling to pay tuition fee, leaving a growing number of students unable to continue their education. Despite these challenges, school authority insist that learning does not have to stop. They further note that measures have been put in place to manage such cases and allow affected students to remain in school while discussions continue with parents and guardians.
Concerning the school fees, you are not so demanding. You are permitting the parent to pay progressively. You permit to school to stay at school, to do exams, the first exams, the second, the third.
While installment payments are allowed, fees must be fully settled before examinations.
Maybe concerning the mock exam, you have become particularly demanding in order to force the parent to pay school fees. You know, in our school, I believe that concerning discipline here is the imperative that surpasses all others. Without discipline, without education. You have there a motto. Our motto is France en nom, discipline first. Without discipline, without education. We are so demanding concerning discipline. Concerning school fees, you permit the parent to pay it step by step.
School authority maintain that sending students home is considered a last resort, as priority is given to keeping learners in the classroom and minimizing the emotional and economic impact of financial difficulties.
The Cameroon People Democratic Movement in Opanyong Section 3 Center in the East Region held their section conference on January 30 and 31, 2026. The meeting aimed at remobilizing party members and strengthening internal cohesion, as Jessica Ndiwum highlights.
The CPDM Union Center 3 section, under the guidance of President Paul Biya, held its joint section conference at Atok in the Eastern Region. The meeting, themed around supporting the party ahead of the municipal and legislative elections, aimed to mobilize members and strengthen party structures. Over the 2 days conference, party activists were trained by experts on key topics, including the role and conduct of an activist during elections and the importance of party discipline, considered absolutely essential for CPDM members. We have indeed insisted on mobilization, on convincing the activists, and on ensuring the vote so that the candidates can win. We have also emphasized discipline because you are aware of the current situation. We have insisted that the activists remain disciplined and observe the text of the party. To encourage party members to support the CPDM in the upcoming elections, party members highlighted the achievements made within the municipality. This includes the construction of schools, bridges, and health centers, as well as the development of agricultural tracts, among other initiatives. It was time for us to pause, take stock of the year that has just passed, assess the situation and plan for the future. We know that municipal and legislative elections are primarily local, and everything will depend on the actions of the activists on the ground, and to ensure that the president retain the power he has always held. The joint section conference was held in the presence of Minister Joseph Lay, head of the permanent regional delegation of the CPDM Central Committee for the East Region. Everything went very well, especially with the bright idea of bringing in some party experts. I would like to say bravo for the initiatives and for the work accomplished on the ground at the end of 2 days of intense activity. The joint section conference concluded with a fraternal atmosphere, with participants expressing confidence and pledging a resounding victory for the CPDM in the upcoming elections.
Opinions are divided as several Cameroonian politicians have declared their intentions to stand the municipal and legislative elections. Rogers Noom takes a look at what is triggering these opinions in the following reports.
As the Cameroonian public anticipates the official announcement by the head of state of the holding of the next legislative and municipal elections, tongues have been set wagging as several politicians have seemingly put the cart before the horse by announcing their intentions to go for one of the races or the other, something which till now was unheard of in Cameroonian politics. We asked two of the hopefuls who've already declared their ambitions to their constituents why they chose to break away from tradition, and this is what they said. We've launched the movement of engaged citizens from Fundi to encourage young people to take destiny into their hands, to actively participate in local politics and democracy. We know there will be legislative and municipal elections in 2026 in Cameroon. We are not targeting anyone specifically. What we want to do is show people that things can be done differently. We are going to work on having this in the 7 councils.
Il est toujours important d'aller vers la rencontre de ces populations.
It's always important to meet the people, to put yourself on their level, and to tune in so that the people adhere to the politician's vision, and the politician also adapts their vision to what the people expect. Legislative and municipal elections are held in Cameroon every 5 years, and the present mandate ends in March after a prorogation. The anticipated elections and the promised cabinet shake-up are the hottest topics in Cameroonian politics at.
And in sports, the second round of the MTN Elite One Championship unfolded over the weekend across Cameroon. Jude Kenji in the following report says the league lived up to its promise. Let's watch.
The Abakwa boys seized sole possession of the early lead with a commanding 4-1 demolition of Stade Renard, the Melon, at the Bamenda Municipal Stadium. The resounding victory sent a clear message of intent to the rest of the championship. Elsewhere, Dinamo de Douala secured a crucial 3-1 home win against Victoria United of Limbe at the Annex de Bepanda, establishing themselves as a force in the early running. While some teams found their scoring touch, others were locked up in tense battles of attrition. The clash between Cotonsport, De Garoua, and Aigle du Mongo ended up in a goalless draw at the Room Diaja Annex, a result that will frustrate the traditional giants. Stalemates were also the order of the day in Bafang, where Unisport drew 0-0 with Panté Dunde, and in Yaoundé, where AS Fortuna Dimfou shared the point with Aigle de la Ménoire. The day's other fixtures saw Gazelle de Garoua urged Colombe Duja and Lobo 2-1 in a closely fought encounter, while Canon Yaoundé narrowly defeated rivals Feuve Razou 1-0 in the capital. As the league table begins to take shape, PWD Bamenda's explosive performance has set a high bar. The championship, proudly presented by MTN, continues to promise passion and unpredictability with every match day.
And we've come to the end of tonight's edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for watching, and stay in the company of our beautiful programs. Have a good evening.